Hello, I'm Luke Biewick. I'm the executive chef at Shooting Star in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I'm originally from Littleton, Colorado, so the Rocky Mountains have always been a part of my life. I grew up in a small family of four, very tight family, very traditional upbringing, very outdoorsy, very outdoor athletic family. So water skiing, alpine skiing, rock climbing, hiking, mountaineering, camping, river rafting, that was always a part of my life since I was a child and speaks a lot to who I am. I found a 3-year apprenticeship program at a ski resort in Keystone, Colorado. And so when I went through that interview, all the people that were getting accepted to this program have had prior restaurant experience. 5-10 years in restaurants. They were all older people. So the Chef Dumonte, in my interview asked me, he said, "Why should we accept you? You have no experience. You've never worked on a hotline. You've never worked in a restaurant. Why should we accept you over these other candidates that have all this experience?" And I just looked at him straight in his face and I said, "I'll fucking work harder than anybody you ever met." And I'll never forget his expression after I said that to him. And I knew right then that was my ticket in. So I started that program, and going from high school football athlete, having a coach be militant, yelling at me, and now I'm in a kitchen and a chef is riding me, throwing things at me, pushing me in a way that I never thought I'd be pushed, and it just spoke to my soul. And so I graduated that program as Apprentice of the Year. From there, I went to Jenny Lake Lodge in the Grand Teton National Park. I was the sous chef there. From there, I went to Maui. Maui is where I kind of really got to learn how to be close with my ingredients, close with my food, close with the land. And then I decided I need to go back to the Rocky Mountains where I belong. And that's where I went back to Jenny Lake Lodge and became the executive chef there at the age of 25. I'm now 33 years old. I'm the executive chef at a premier private club in Jackson Hole. I've been an executive chef for 9 years. Food to me goes well back to my childhood at that family dinner table. Sharing a meal as a family is the most important part of being a family. Most people think of Wyoming and they might think of, ranchers and cowboys, but we as chefs are kind of ranchers and cowboys out here. We work closely with ranchers, we work closely with local farms, and that's what speaks so deeply to me living in Jackson, is this closeness that I get to the ingredients. It just brings such gratitude when you get to see the face of the farmer, you get to see their excitement behind their product, and then you get to take that story, put it into your kitchen, put it into your creation, and then share that experience with the guests. And as a chef, a big understanding that you have to have is you're always going to fail. You're going to get cut, you're going to get burned. Those hurt, but the hardest hurt is failing. So what makes us good chefs is how we overcome that failure. I think when it comes to my personality, a lot of times it can get misread. And I think most people outside of the kitchen would describe me as very intense and abrasive. And I think that comes off because I care so much. When it comes to my personality at home, I'm married to a woman who's from Moldova, and I have a 6-year-old stepdaughter. And so when it comes to my house, I'm the one saying, "Yes, chef." As an executive chef, I'm very much in the trenches. There's many dinner services where I'm on the line, and I love being on the line. It's what I was as a cook. It's how we all start as cooks. And I think it's very important as leaders that we maintain that ability to be in the trenches, to be a part of that team. My dream is to surround myself with people who are better than me, because everybody on this planet knows something about food that you don't know. Another dream of mine is to continue bridging people through food, connecting the dots between farmers, producers, chefs, and guests. So in my experience watching Hell's Kitchen, kind of studying some episodes, the teams that come together and work as a unit, those are the ones who succeed. So I think that's something that really intrigues me and really excites me about coming on the show, is kind of being a character that can focus on being the team player and focusing on winning the challenge. When it comes to Gordon Ramsay, he really is a perfectly balanced dish. He's sweet, he's sour, he's bitter, he's savory, he's an asshole. He tears you down, he builds you up. He kind of resonates with me in that regard, and I kind of feel like my personality slightly matches with him, minus the British accent. I would really like to thank Rebecca for reaching out to me on Instagram, giving me this opportunity to do this interview. This interview has actually put me quite outside my comfort zone. Being a chef who's in the kitchen all the time, talking to a camera is not exactly my forte. But I mentioned earlier the way I got into my apprenticeship in the interview, when Chef Dumonte asked me, "Why should we accept you? Why should we accept you into this program?" If you were to ask me that question, I'll tell you the same thing, and it's because I'll fucking work harder than anybody.